Welcome everyone to Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com and of course YouTube.com/NoDQCAW. Thank you all for watching. I've gotten a few questions about this over the last few days, so I'm going to address it. Of course, I haven't addressed it yet. Don't know why, I just didn't feel like it. I'm talking about the 2010 King of the Ring tournament. The winner, of course, was Sheamus, who ended up wrestling twice that night because he got a bye, while his opponent in the finals, John Morrison, had to wrestle 3 times. People have been asking me if Sheamus was the right candidate. Was he the right guy to go with? You know, should Morrison have got the push and been elevated to face Miz for the title, and which is what I predicted to happen. I think Sheamus winning overall was the best thing to do, and the reason for that is they can now build toward a King of the Ring versus King of Kings feud with Triple H's inevitable return, which will probably happen on WrestleMania because that's when the big payday is. And there's a built-in thing right there. Sheamus took out Triple H in April of last year. I was trying to think off the top of my head. At Extreme Rules, and for that to be prolonged so long now and not have a payoff yet is very surprising to me. They're almost pulling, you know, a WCW Sting versus Hogan thing where they're just prolonging it and make sure that we get the big money payoff. No, it's not the main event feud of WWE, but it is a high-profile, high-stakes feud that could, you know, lead to bigger and better things for Sheamus. He's already one of their top guys on Raw. He's already one of the top guys, period. He's been a 2-time WWE champion. He's now the King of the Ring. And I think a feud with Triple H going into WrestleMania will only build him that much more. The tournament was presented pretty well overall. There were a couple things that I kind of disagree with. I didn't like the fact that there was a double count out and Sheamus got the bye to the finals. I thought that everybody should have earned their way. I know it's all predicted storyline, but in the grand scheme of the storyline, it would have made it look better if both guys had to wrestle 3 times. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, it made Morrison look like the underdog going in because he had less rest than Sheamus did, but you know, Sheamus would have been just as much of a badass with 2 wins as it would have been with 3. So it really wouldn't have affected him, I don't think, in any way to have that bye. And plus, I think Zeke and Drew wrestling to a double countout is a disservice to both of them, because I think that both those guys are good enough where they could have had another match, especially Drew McIntyre. Can you imagine a Drew McIntyre-Sheamus match, or you know, Ezekiel Jackson-Sheamus match? Both those guys would have been, I think, good for a match with Sheamus. And as far as Sheamus looking ahead to the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania and all that, what do they do with the guy? I mean, he's already the King of the Ring. Do they have him, have a solid performance in the Royal Rumble? Do they have him face Triple H at WrestleMania? So many different things could have happened with the King of the Ring that would have been dramatically different had somebody else won. Cars could have gone by, the whole thing. I'm just kidding. I love playing out here with the game, playing out here with the show, because stuff just goes by and makes noise. But I have Christmas stuff, so I like it. I kind of agree with Sheamus winning the King of the Ring. I kind of disagree. Morrison, like I said, it would have been great to have a Morrison-Miz feud. Morrison being elevated to the King of the Ring status and having him challenge the Miz for the WWE Championship. I didn't like the fact that Miz's first title defense that same night as King of the Ring was against Jerry the King Lawler. Don't get me wrong. The King is a legend. He's one of the all-time greats. He's a former world champion. But there was a reason in the 17 years he's been in WWE that he hasn't got a title shot, because the King has not been that guy. And just because it was his birthday, just because he, they had to insert him in there somewhere, it was stupid. And a TLC match at that, it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't the best at all. And for the fact that was the Miz's first defense makes the Miz look weak, in my opinion. So, hopefully they'll do better with Miz's booking. What do you guys think out there in Troll Land? And those of you that aren't trolls, what do you think of that? You know what? Let me ask the king of the trolls. Let me ask this guy, because this guy has been kind of getting under my skin here the last few weeks, but we'll see if he can redeem himself right now. Edgebear, what do you think of the whole Sheamus winning King of the Ring and the whole storylines that can evolve out of that?
Well, I think that Sheamus deserved to win because he's actually a talented ginger, unlike certain people.
Okay. Anything else?
Nah, that's it, fatty.
Alright, good. Thanks for sharing. Okay. That's what Edgebear thinks. What do you guys think? We'll see you next time.